I'm Tequila Friday. I'm with the Prairie Quills Writers Group, and today we have Madelon Smid. Madelon, can you tell me about your writing life?
Oh, it's quite exciting. I love to be there doing it. Actually, I think what you're asking is how I write through the day and through the year. And I have quite a system in place now that works well for me. I take 2 months of the year, and each of those months I write a new novel. And in between, I'm basically full-time writing right now because I always have either a galley that needs proofing or a copy editing on another book, or I'm working on parts of my blogging of books. And I find that I take one day a week to handle all of my business and social media networking, etc., so that I don't have to interfere with my writing during a writing day. And that's working very well for me.
Madelon, can you tell me about your latest work?
Oh, that's exciting too. I'm actually just in the final production stages of High Seas, which is the third book in my series called the Daring Heights series. Climbing High came out and did very well, and High Ground was published in, went global worldwide in February, and it's getting 5-star reviews on Amazon. So I have high hopes for High Seas. And just waiting, we're just doing the last of the cover art, and it will be ready. They're books of romantic suspense and very plot driven, and lots of excitement and action, and very strong female characters.
What would you say is your greatest success in writing?
It has to be co-authoring smart women. We are still getting emails from women across Canada who find our book in a used bookstore and say how much it has helped them with their business. We covered an issue that was extremely sensitive at the time, businesswomen and money, and we did, it became a #1 bestseller, so it got lots of attention. It's helped thousands and thousands of women in the United States and Canada, so I think that's my best work.
What inspires you?
I guess life, I guess the things that I love to do, particularly nature, to be in nature, to be very active, to challenge yourself against nature. I love anything that's like kayaking down a wild river or skiing a new ski hill, and just knowing that I have to find the discipline and control and skill to be able to get to the bottom or the end, still alive. And so that's the kind of thing that I want to put into my books, that drive for life.
You belong to the Prairie Quills Writers Group. Tell us at least 2 of the benefits of belonging to a group.
Well, my very first idea when I asked the group to form was to get myself peer support, and it has been very successful for me that way. I have wonderful writers around me who provide me with all sorts of inspiration and critiques and help in every way, and working together we've been able to give ourselves the resources necessary to continue to grow as writers, so that would be the second advantage.
Tell us about your piece in the Prairie Quills' latest anthology, Reflections from the Creek.
I had lots of fun with that. It was inspired by the few years I did live in Swift Current. I lived at one of the officers' homes out at the airport with my husband Dennis, who was a pilot, who is a pilot. But anyway, that house belonged to one of the officers in charge of the base when it was a flying school, training school for the British military back in World War II. And I soon found from living very close to Kyle that the Matador Cooperative has a lot of the buildings on it that were moved from that base. Well, that just intrigued me. So doing the research and getting the stories and answers from the people who lived on the base, from the people who lived at the Matador Cooperative, was exciting. The other challenge about that story was that I wrote it in first person and in present tense, which is very difficult. And so it was, it was a really good writing challenge, and I enjoyed doing it.
What advice would you give a novelist writer?
I always say write. You can't do anything or improve anything unless you're doing it continually. So don't talk about writing, don't think about writing, don't dream about writing. Get your paper and pen out, get to your laptop and write, and write and write and write.
What are you working on next?
Right now I am working on polishing the fourth book in the Daring Heights series. It's called Reaching High, and is taking me into new areas of the world like Hong Kong. So a lot of research has been done. The book is written, I'm just getting it ready for submission. And I've also gone back and taken the first book I've ever written, which I sold to Zebra, Lucky in Love, and unfortunately, though I was paid for it, it never got into print because the line folded. And so I have rewritten it, and I'm going to submit it to Harlequin Silhouette, and hope that they'll pick me up as one of their writers.
Would you like to add anything else?
Well, I also have a project that's been ongoing 12 years, I think now. So many of the women that I met through Smart Women workshops had chronic illnesses, disease that they were carrying with them that were caused by stress and not enough sleep. And so I interviewed people across Canada and wrote a book on chronic disease. And I am going to self-publish that this summer. It is called Chronic Challenge, Living Well with Chronic Disease, and has quite a lot of my own history of living with Crohn's disease in it, as well as all these other people who have different diseases that are called the invisible diseases. I'm very passionate about getting that message out there, and just honoring the people who gave up their time when they weren't feeling well to do the interviews and give this information to the world.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Madelon, for being with us today.
My pleasure.